Hey Scorpio, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. I hope that you're all doing well. We're starting off first with Knight of Pentacles. I'm seeing Ace of Cups and the Devil is coming out with it. So this can be an Ace of Cups that's being offered, and it's coming from something that you may want to like more closely inspect, possibly. When the Devil is connected with the Ace of Cups, it's giving this feeling of something that may be extended to you, something that can be being offered to you at the same time. There may be more going on below the surface. It kind of gives the feeling of like getting you to sign something and then there being details that you weren't aware of, something like that. That's kind of it. Like you're gonna get roped into something possibly, so just be mindful of it. Because it's an Ace of Cups, there can be like an interpersonal thing or a connection that's involved with it. It can be something that's being offered to you, but there being some type of like hidden clause essentially, and it can be coming in the form of like maybe somebody wanting to connect with you. We'll get further and see. Like it can be an offer of something coming through. I am seeing Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so this is a part of you that's going to look at this, and please use your discernment. Oh, I will say this too. So having Ace of Cups and having the Devil, it doesn't have to be a person. It can be, when the Devil is there, it can be sort of getting you to... An Ace of Cups will feel like an opportunity to connect with something, okay? To feel a sense of connection and feel a sense of like love or good feeling, okay? So Ace of Cups to many of us can be something that we feel drawn towards or at least open to. When the Devil is connected to it, it can mean that it's not like a real standalone Ace of Cups, which can mean like this will help you feel a sense of connection temporarily, or like I'm offering this to you and so you think that it's just going to be like starting this thing and it's going to be feeling good, but then there's something else going on that's connected with it where in some way you're going to get like roped into it, and it's not just going to be the Ace of Cups by itself. Like it means that there's something that's been disrupted within the purity of the Ace of Cups. So it won't be for free. I'm seeing High Priestess and I'm seeing Six of Wands, and so I feel very strongly like you actually sussed this out. Because right now I'm seeing you marching along, taking steps that may not always be the easiest thing to do, but they are functional and it's building something currently within your life. Like you're making the moves that you need to be making to build the structure that you want to build currently, to tend to what you want to tend to. And even though it can be a more slow process, you can feel like this is definitely the way to do it. Having that High Priestess there, it feels like there's wisdom within these steps that you are taking. Having Six of Wands connected with the High Priestess, I feel like you're seeing what's going on here with the Devil and this thing that's being potentially like brought to your attention. So it can be like a temptation of some sort even that's being put in your face, and you get to decide what you do with this. Having Six of Wands there next to High Priestess, I feel like you've seen through what's going on to the other side, so it doesn't feel like the Devil's really hidden anymore. I feel like there's a full awareness of this. Like you're savvy enough and connected enough to tell this. That doesn't mean that it doesn't feel tempting to lean in the direction of the devil. It's one of those moments where it's like you do what's right for yourself or you do what's easy, which is not going to feel maybe like the best outcome for you here. But you're going to learn something either way, regardless of what you do. I'm seeing Temperance, which is about allowing yourself to move through this process. Don't rush yourself through. Make sure that the steps that you're taking are deliberate. Because it's the Ace of Cups that's being suggested here, you can want the Ace of Cups, just not when it's attached to the Devil. Because that can be something that, again, like it ropes you in, it hooks you to something, and that may not be what you really want here in this situation. You may not want to be tied to something in this way or like create that dependency on something. This can be telling you though that you do want the Ace of Cups, just not with the Devil attached to it. But it feels like it's tempting because the Ace of Cups is involved in this. Okay. This is bringing up something that is meant to be processed, which can kind of create conflict when it comes to the direction that you're going to choose here, because I'm seeing it definitely boil down to a choice that you have. Being aware of the different choices totally is going to be helpful so you make an informed decision. Something that can be tempting you, having the Devil be there, something that can be sort of creating this feeling of conflict, is that it looks like on the emotional end you're still dealing with something dealing with something heavy, dealing with something unprocessed, which may actually make the Devil more attractive because it sort of promises to like get rid of that for you. And even though it would be temporary, you're gonna have to come back to face this. But there can be a part of you that's maybe like, I kind of don't want to face this right now. And so the Devil can feel attractive for that reason, because it can put off having to deal with something. And there may be a part of you, it can put off having to deal with something that you find to be unpleasant to deal with emotionally. And even though like you can't really escape from it, at the same time the Devil can be like, this is a temporary out. Do you maybe want that? What do you want to do? And it can just bring up a hard decision for you. Now, I am seeing Lovers on the bottom of the deck, so relationship can be involved in this. Yeah, it feels like a very sticky situation to be in, although I'm seeing you be capable of extricating yourself from this, meaning it's not going to have those chains on you. Like you have the power to make a move like that and to move forward, but ultimately it's resting on you what you want to do here. There are solid steps to be taking. At the same time, you can feel a little bit, I don't know, like maybe you're feeling mentally tormented in some way. Maybe this is like bringing up fear of the future for you that can be involved in this too. It feels as well like there can be some sadness, grieving, disappointment, loss that's connected with this process too, that you are coming to terms with as well. I feel too like the High Priestess is coming through here. You are connecting with your higher self. You are connecting with a higher guidance and wisdom. It can be asking you, it can be advising you, encouraging you to make a move here that may, for some reason, like bring up I don't know. I feel almost like High Priestess coming through and saying something to you like, this is my advice to go this way. And you can feel distraught about it for some reason. Maybe because fear can be involved in this. Or there can be like a want to avoid something that you can't avoid if you're going to really follow the advice. And so that can make things difficult too. I want to clarify the Five of Cups. Before I do, something that I'm seeing is that like the Five of Cups is actually meant to be beneficial to you, and even though it doesn't necessarily feel good to experience this, it's actually meant to help you. So I wonder if this is like to not make like a repeated decision that's you're going to get the same outcome. That's just the feeling that I'm getting from this. What is the Five of Cups? Because something about it is meant to be helpful. It's like if you do something and it's not in alignment, and then you have an outcome that you don't like, that's meant to help shape things so you make choices where you don't do that same thing again. Otherwise, you're going to get that same outcome. So even though it can be like not fun to experience an outcome that you don't like, at the same time, it's helpful because it can steer you in a different direction. It can encourage you to move in a different direction so you don't have to experience that again. And I think maybe needing to see that, because we have King of Swords coming out as clarifying the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is that sadness, it can be missed opportunity, it can be disappointment, it can be emotional conflict. King of Swords is your logic and reason and being able to understand the message of this, what it means, and then how to apply it to current choices that you're being posed with. Even though you can feel some worry, concern, even though you can feel distraught about making a functional move here, it feels like a need for some deep reflection and then to carry on forward in the way that you perceive as being the best move for you to be making here. And I do get the sense that there may be one move that you could make that may be easier at the time, yet may cultivate an outcome that you don't want, versus making a choice that may feel a bit more difficult to do, yet that's going to be a better case scenario for you, especially what that is going to manifest, essentially. I think too that when something's being brought up, like when you see the Ace of Cups being presented to you, like before you see the devil behind it, there can be an excitement of like, yes, an Ace of Cups is here, I'm so excited to connect with it. But then when you see the devil behind it, there can be this really deep feeling of, I just got my hopes up, I felt so excited about this, I wanted to take it, but now that I'm being shown the truth about this, I'm feeling so bummed out. And there's a part of me that wants to take it anyway because I got my hopes up and I was so excited. And then there's this other part of me that I know better. And I think that's also something that's being worked with as well, where like you already know that it's not what the sort of like maybe initial impression was. Because I do very much get the feeling with the Ace of Cups of this thing being presented to you, but then you take a closer look and you see what it really is, and it's not what you initially saw. It has something else connected to it which will ruin the purity of this. So it's not really an Ace of Cups, it's become something else. But that part of us that can have a hard time I think accepting that it's something different than initially maybe perceived. If that part of us is empowered that doesn't want to accept what we now know to be the truth, it can decide to grab hold of the Ace of Cups anyway. You're going to get the result that you think you're going to get from that. But that part of us that can be like, well, I don't want to accept it, so I'm going to take this anyway. Then you're in a situation you don't want to be in. And you look back at it and can say, I made that choice because I didn't want to accept what I knew to be true. And so that's actually the real choice here, is either to accept and to make an informed choice, or to say, like, I don't want to accept this because then I'm going to really have to feel everything I'm feeling about this and then carry on. And so that's what this sort of brings you to here with this. And that's where the like conflict is coming from. It's basically are you going to accept this situation for what you know it to be, or are you so resistant to accepting the reality of this that you're going to put off having to process and accept that, which like eventually you're going to be faced with that anyway, but there can just be a part of you that maybe doesn't want to deal with this now. Having the devil involved, though, I'd say that this is like a very sticky situation that you'd be getting involved with if you do. However, at the end of the day, if you make the choice to put off having to accept like the reality of this, there are things that you're going to learn. It may not be the easiest stuff to go through. However, you will grow and learn through that process. So there's no really wrong choice for you to be making. It's just a matter of, like, with you now seeing the layout of the options here, what do you think is best for yourself, and to recognize that it's your judgment call at the end of the day. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.